funny, right? But when I do, I tune in to Bad Hombres. You know what I'm talking about? My good friend Christopher Manassas. I mean, this guy's teaching you ways to become a Don Juan, right? To get more dates. I mean, isn't that what all you guys want to do? What am I doing wrong? I mean, what's her problem? I thought everything was going great. Come on, Snapperhead. Just tune into the show.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Chris here with another podcast. Today, I have a good friend of mine, Cameron. We've been chatting, and we've belonged to a few groups on just helping other men become the better version of themselves. Started from obviously the whole red pill community, which is becoming more mainstream and it's evolving. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about his awaken, his introduction to the red pill, and then we're going to talk about the current state of the manosphere. Now, my man, Cameron, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Glad to be on.
I'm glad we're doing this, brother. It took a while just because we're so busy, which is a good quality of an alpha male is to be a busy man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, man. And you know just as well as I know. Try to stay on your purpose, try to stay on your goals and your objectives, and everything else kind of falls into place.
Exactly, bro. So if you can just tell me a little bit about yourself, your enlightenment. How do you say it, bro? My English today is like acting up. It's on strike today.
Yeah. So my story. Well, I always like when I ever talk to people who kind of want to know how I got to where I was at. I always, because I'm a little bit older, and I didn't get my red pill awakening until kind of later in life, which is kind of weird because usually you kind of get it earlier. But I always try to tell people, like, think of me as someone coming from the future, coming back in time to kind of warn you about your younger self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my red pill awakening happened in 2018. And I'll go a little bit further back. I was dating a woman that I met off of Facebook. And, to make a long story short, and I'm going to give you guys a Cliff Notes version of what happened, but she reached out to me on social media and she inboxed me on Messenger. And originally I thought I was getting trolled by one of my buddies. But the message was like, hey, I'm in my last year of dental school. I'm taking my boards. I'm gonna become a dentist. I couldn't help but to notice you have a stunning jawline. And I was sitting there thinking, like, this kind of has to be like a joke where someone's trolling me.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything of it. And then when I got home from work, I checked the message again. I saw that she was actually mutual friends with a buddy of mine that we worked at the same job. It's just that his younger sister, was going to college with the girl that inboxed me. So how she found me was, how Facebook, the algorithm kind of gives you like a suggested people you may know list, and that's how she found me. So make a long story short, I currently live in Philadelphia. When she reached out to me, she lived in Indiana. And make a long story short,
like how far in terms of driving? How far are they from each other?
Oh, well, it's crazy because when we first started talking, I was flying back and forth, and I've never been a huge fan of flying, right? But again, I'm blue pill. I'm simping. I'm thinking like, okay, this is how you maintain a relationship, if you want to start dating somebody. So I talked to my buddy and I was like, hey, do you know this person X? She messaged me, and I noticed she's mutual friends with your little sister. So make a long story short, he looked at her profile and he was like, oh, yeah. They're cool. So she turned out to be a legit person. I wasn't getting trolled. So I messaged her back and I was like, hey, I saw your message. I would like to get to know you. And then the next thing I know, 3 weeks later, I'm catching a flight. Now, mind you, I've only known this girl for like maybe a couple of days, but the next week I had caught a flight over to Indiana, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'll give you guys a very watered down version of what happened. So she finally moves over to Philly. We get engaged. We were the quintessential popular interracial couple. We had, when I proposed to her, if anyone knows, or if anyone ever been to Philadelphia, one of the landmarks in Philadelphia is the Love Statue. And I got on my knees and I proposed to her in front of everybody. That video went viral. And
oh wow.
Yeah. And
nice.
Chris, you couldn't have written a better script, right? I mean, everything was perfect. I mean, yeah. I was on cloud nine. I thought I had the whole world in my hands, man. And then shit started to hit the fan.
But let me tell you, just and sorry to cut you off, but that's why the blue pill is so delicious. Because
yes.
you don't know. But I'm telling you, like, ignorance is bliss. When I was the one also going on my knees and I remember when I had the ring in my car and I was just on my way and I knew it was gonna happen, and I was listening to some corny songs about getting married, bro. And I'm not gonna lie to you and act like I'm all tough and stuff. I was in my feelings. I was on cloud nine. Honestly, if that was real, unconditional love was real, that's amazing, because that's an amazing feeling.
Right, but it's like serotonin, right?
Exactly, it's like that, and that's why the red pill it hurts a little bit, but it's the unfortunate truth. But yeah, go on.
So down a rabbit hole we go, right?
Yeah.
So everything's perfect. We move into an affluent neighborhood in Philadelphia. We got a nice apartment together. We blended our finances. She grew a close relationship to my son. The exact moment I kind of knew something was turning kind of weird was when she started getting like really depressed. Now, if anyone knows about the dental field, dentists have some of the higher suicide rates in the country as far as job occupations. And when I go ahead, you got a question?
Yeah, my fiance was also in that exact same.
Oh, so you know? Yeah. Oh, bro, yeah. Listen, man. The whole first 3 years of the relationship, I could have became a therapist. Yeah. Because every day I would come home from work, she was either stressing, depressed, mood swings. I mean, and it wasn't like how us men are. When we get off from work, we internalize things, but we kind of deal with it. Every day she came home from work, I didn't know which person I was going to get. Yeah. Some days she'd be up here, some days she'd be down here. It was never even killed. But to progress the story, we started growing distant, and that also correlated with the time that she became kind of aloof. So her depression got so bad that she started gaining weight, and she started not wanting to do things. And me, again, having the blue pill way of thinking, I said, okay, I want to try to do the right politically correct thing and try to get her or lead the way in a relationship. So I tried to get her, I was eating salads because I wanted to lead by example, have her eat salads. And then I would take her running, and then I would take her to the gym.
How dare you?
Right. But she became more jealous because I guess she felt like I was more determined. I was, staying in my masculine frame. Yeah. She didn't like that. And she didn't like the fact that when I went to the gym, I was getting a lot of attention from the other women. Or if I'm going running, all the other women were like checking me out when I'm going running. Cause sometimes, I run with my shirt off, but like she started, instead of her following my lead, she became very resentful, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And make a long story short, she started putting on weight, and this was 2017. And I said, you know what? I don't know how much longer I can deal with this. So I went into her room and I said, hey, listen, I said, you know, I've, you know, I love you and I care about you, but I don't like what I'm seeing right now. And, you know, I've tried to, you know, make offers for us to go to counseling, to seek therapy. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed your diet has changed. And I'm going to be honest with you. If this trajectory continues, I'm going to be, I'm not going to be that attracted to you. And I try to, Chris, I'm telling you, I try to put it as politically correct as anybody could put it, right? Yeah. So 2018 rolls around. March. I'll never forget this day, March 3rd, 2018, because it was 2 days after my son's birthday. Mm. I didn't even see it coming. I'm sitting in the kitchen and I'm eating my breakfast, and then she walks in. Now, mind you, we were supposed to have gotten married September 2018. She walks into the kitchen and she says, I can't do this anymore. Mm. And I say, well, what do you mean? You can't you can't do your job? I mean, you can always, you know, in that field, you can always do something else. You don't have to be a dentist. You know, you can be a consultant. And she was like, no, I can't do this relationship anymore. Now, remind you, I had met her in 2013. We were together for 5 years. We were engaged for 3 years. I sat there and my whole life kind of went before my eyes, and I couldn't process what I was hearing and what I was seeing, right? And I was so much in denial that she wanted to end the relationship and cancel the marriage that I had to walk out and then call my mom and let my mom know what was going on, because I just couldn't process what was happening to me. And when you're in the blue pill mode, you believe that everything lasts forever. You believe that you're going to spend the rest of your life together. Marriage is you know, signed deal. You know, you take your vows. Yep. Neither of you're never going to leave, right? Yeah. So I did everything that most all the dating experts tell you not to do. I begged. I said, hey, listen, let's talk about this. Nothing worked. And
nothing's gonna work, and it's easier said than done. But we are problem solvers by heart, like by our nature. We're problem solvers, and what our first reaction will be to try and negotiate our way out of it. But that doesn't tap into that emotional. Because woman is all emotions, so there's not. You can come up with the exact everything you need to say. Nothing's gonna stick.
Right. Nothing. Hit it right on the head. Right. And this is to all the viewers out there. He articulated perfectly. When a woman is fed up, there's nothing you can do about it. No, there's nothing you can do about it.
I'll tell you what you could do, which is the hardest, because even to this day, I have that problem. No contact. What you could do, let her feel the consequences of her actions.
Yes.
Give her a chance to miss you and to feel your absence. Out cold. Yeah. No problem. The door, honey, listen, you're doing what you're doing. It's fine. I don't agree with it. I'm gonna leave the door open if you have a change of heart, but I'm not. You do what you gotta do. And you know, it's so easy to say. I know it's very hard.
Right.
Your whole belief system is shattered because you thought all the work that you put in.
Right.
Everything is just like that.
And that's the part that kind of stings, because I grew up with a single mom. So my whole upbringing was accommodate, coddle, and serve the woman, right? And like you just said, what stings the most is when you realize all the stuff you sacrifice to be there. Now, granted, I'll give you guys a very watered down version, because I don't want to go into too much detail about all the stuff that I did, because for the sake of the story, but there was a lot of sacrifices that I made in this relationship that for the most part, to this day, I still took a hit on. So getting on with the story, I pack my stuff, I leave. I had to start all over again. And, starting with finding my own place, Luckily, I had money saved up, so I had to dig into that pot in order to quickly rebound.
Yeah.
My credit took a hit because we had credit cards in our names or whatever like that, and so yeah, it was a very you think on your feet kind of moment. But luckily, I had money saved up, and it's kind of weird because towards the end of the relationship, I kind of knew something was up. So I started putting my money away because I just had an odd feeling something was going to happen, but I just couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was when I finally got to a quiet place, which was back at my mom's house, like we all did, I jumped on the internet for answers.
Yes.
And the first person I saw was Donovan.
Bro, okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm a little bit freaking out a little bit because there's probably everything. It's the parallels are freaking me out right now.
Yeah.
Dentist in March, we're both by single moms. It was Donovan Sharp. It was literally, bro, it's every single thing engaged.
Right.
Which is weird how close these things are because it's the
Right.
same month, the same situation, same career, the same guy who introduced us.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure when you watched Donovan for the first time, it was okay. The reason why we get so addictive and we get into the gluttony phase of the red pill, which it slows down after some time, but the first time it's like, whoa, what is this? This is exactly what I need right now, and it's they call that the gluttony phase.
Right.
And I guess the reason why we get so addicted to that is because it's giving us some of the closure that we need because we never ever get the closure. Women are amazing, are hiding things and keeping things. They're way better than men at lying, right?
Right.
So we don't get the closure. And because our brain is designed to protect itself, it's going to ask for a lot more proof of cheating or infidelity of a million things because you just can't. No. She was cheating. No, like she was with me the whole time. But like we all know how that goes, right?
Right. And to kind of touch on that, the gluttony phase. There's this one story that Donovan had about the wife who married the cop, and then she wound up divorcing him or breaking up with him because she didn't like the fact that he had a blue collar job and not a white collar job. Jeez. And everything that in that story paralleled my life because I don't know if you remember that story, but she goes on and jumps into a rebound relationship with a musician who turns around and breaks up with her. Meanwhile, the guy that she left, the cop, went out, got promoted into and I believe this story was in the UK, but I don't know if they're called cops, whatever, but he got promoted and now he was like a sergeant. And meanwhile, the musician dude, he ghosted her and then like went on to marry somebody else. Now, I kind of get back into my story. And this is why, and I hope the viewers are watching this. This is why it's so important after you break up to really focus on your purpose. Because what's going to happen is as you're building your life up and you're building your career up, the girl that leaves you, she's never going to be able to replace what she had with you. No. And in my story with my ex, so let me, and please, I don't want to kind of deviate from the point of the red pill movement, but I kind of want to share this part of it because in the end, men, we always win. And here's why. And this kind of relates to the story, right?
Yep.
My ex, very maliciously, after we broke up, she created an Instagram page. And then she, for some odd reason, added my friends and my family to her Instagram page. Now, I had already moved on. I've already knew okay, this is done. We're never getting that together. I'm going to start dating, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, she just felt compelled to let my family know and my friends know on her Instagram page that she was dating new people, knowing that it was going to get back to me. So during this whole time from 2018 up until 2020, She was on Instagram promoting her new friends, or I mean, not her new friends, but her new lovers.
Yeah.
And she's been in now 3 rebound relationships. And now, just to kind of give you the viewers an idea of what I do, I'm a federal auditor. I work for the federal government, right? I have a very secure, very stable, good career job that pays well. I'm very fortunate in that respect.
Yeah.
The first dude that she left me for, my cousins, I have a couple of cousins who you know, they're kind of like my little sisters, right? Or, you know, big sisters, whatever. But they Googled the guy, and it turned out that he was arrested for revenge porn. That was her first rebound. Then the second dude she left was some Indian dude who was some rich guy who dumped her, pumped and dumped her, right? Now, mind you, this is all on Instagram. So in other words, she's trying to make me look crappy, right? By saying, oh, I'm going to find somebody better than you, but she never finds no one better than me.
She won't.
From the last thing that I heard, she's now dating a cigar salesman.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess the point I'm trying to make it with this is it hurts in the beginning when the breakup happens, but if you stay focused and you stay in your career and you do everything that you're supposed to do, as far as what the Red Pill movement wants you to do, get in the gym, eat healthy, work on your finances, everything takes care of itself, and you will rebound faster and more efficiently than she will. Because the thing is, and this is what a lot of us forget, it's easy for men to rebound, right, and find other women. You know, it's in our mating strategy, right? But for women, they can't biologically, they can't go around and just find some guy that's going to want to marry them and put a ring on their finger. Yeah, they'll find dudes that want to fuck them, but they're not gonna find a guy that's going to want to marry them the way you and I did. They got on our knees and engaged and proposed. So,
oh no, they can for sure. I think they can,
right.
but it's that they don't date down. They're always dating up, right? And at that point, you're what's called alpha widowed. And I tell you what, getting back to that whole point, it's the same thing, man. Like if that happens to people, right? You have 2 options. They can make you or break you. So if you work on yourself and you put in the work, you accept what happens. You're going to level up.
Yes.
And as men, we have the luxury of time.
Right.
It takes a little bit of longer for us to bloom and become, you know, in our prime.
Right.
Maybe 10 years later after a female, but our shelf life is going to be a little bit longer.
Right.
And I've noticed that, you know, I was left. I don't even want to talk about who is she dating and stuff and what happened, and she just had a baby, whatever, what have you. But I already know that in the long term, I'm going to be ahead, happier financially. This was a test to myself, and I'm very proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself for coming through.
Yeah.
And there was something else that I wanted to tell you. And the other thing is too, man, listen, the love and your sexual feelings, they go away after 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be let's just say your hard drive in your head is a terabyte. It's going to be 5 megabytes that are a little bit like it's there. It's bookmarked. It could be there's 1 million pages bookmarked. That stuff is there, and it could be with your pride. Something sometimes comes back and haunts you, and it's just like, man, if I could just bang her one more time, you know what I mean? If I could just put that one more time, just so I can touch her,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's always going to be there. But and another thing too, that love that you have for her, you might never have that again.
That's a great point.
Right. But
listeners, listen to what he's about to say.
That love that you had for her, you're not gonna have it again.
Yep.
The puppy love, that passionate. However, she had no respect for you, and I think more important than a girl loving you is a girl respecting you. So from this point forward, you may not have that. You may not be in cloud nine like that, but you're going to have a more meaningful relationship, more respectful, more fun, more prettier girl. And unfortunately, this is something that like that you're gonna have in the back of your head, but you're gonna be just fine. And as time goes by, the first 6 months, she's gonna live in your head for 6 hours a day. What's
Yep.
she doing? Who's she with? Blah blah blah.
Yep.
Even when you're
Stalking her Instagram.
even when you're seeing other girls, a year go by, maybe it's half of that. After 2 years, maybe it's like 5 minutes a day. After
Yeah.
that, it could be
None.
like maybe
Listen,
one
bro.
maybe once
Bro,
a month
listen.
you check like what's up, just to like and just I'm gonna hand the mic over to you in just a second. But my one of my best friends, mentors, one of my biggest support system in my rebound was this guy Andre. And I was just recently talking to him because I was a little bit bitter about the fact that there was a real estate situation that I put a lot of work and sweat equity into it. And I know for a fact now that there is a baby with a new person in there. And it kind of gets in my nerves just to see them. And I lay down that flooring.
Yeah.
So it gets in my head. So
Yeah.
my friend Andrew, who's been an amazing help for me, he said, "Look, bro, I know you're over her romantically.
Right.
The day you don't even care about her, the day that you don't even care about succeeding because to tell her to fuck off, like that's when you're fully moved on. Because right
Right.
now, I admit that romantically, I'm moved on.
Right.
I'm not even attracted to her.
Right.
There's still that part of me that wants her, that want me to succeed so bad that my face is on a billboard in front
Right.
of her fucking house.
Me too. Me too.
I want, and that's
Yeah.
like a motivator.
Right.
But until that's gone, focus.
Right.
Until that's gone, you're not fully 100% moved on. You're like 90% moved on.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And you know what's funny? I think you're about 100% correct. I feel like I'm about 90% moved on. But I mean, for the most part, I don't really think about her no more. I really don't. She doesn't even cross my mind. I wish her the best, whatever it is that she's doing now. I wish her the complete best. And back to what you were saying about you will never love that way again.
Mhm.
If that wasn't a great way to describe the red pill movement, bring this whole full circle, having that breakup really took me out of any blue pill way of thinking, to the point now where when I meet girls, I don't even try to get in a relationship with them. I don't even want to get into the whole discussion about marriage or any of that. I just, when I date, I hang out and I have fun and I hook up, and that's it. I don't try to do anything else because I don't ever want to go through that again. I don't ever want to go through hitting that reset button on my life and then having to start all over from the bottom all the way up.
Yeah.
But yes, that was my red pill moment. That was the one that got me into Donovan and listening to him, listening to Darius, listening to Better Bachelor. There's a whole bunch of them, they're like you said, the gluttony phase. I was almost like Neo in the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
The part where he plugs the thing in his head and he wants to learn karate, and I just kept absorbing it and taking it in, and I just like, man, this is really useful stuff, and you can kind of relate to me with this, right? But wasn't your reaction like, how come I didn't know this when I was younger?
I know. It's but you know what? I'll tell you this because then you can relate to this. You see it, and then you go and tell people, bro, look what I just found out. And they don't even listen to you.
They don't listen, man.
So this is like the Bible. This is like religion. When you're driving a Ferrari, you're making your $1 million a year, what have you, you're not going to care about praying to God. When you're on the way down, that's when you start praying. And it's the same thing with the red pill. So what I've learned is the red pill comes to people. They don't come to the red pill. So no problem, bro. You want to get engaged? I got you. I'll be your best man. I'll support you. No problem. I know I can see everything from a mile away. And if I tell you, you're going to get mad at me. what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be your friend when shit goes down, because shit's gonna go down.
Right, right,
It's
right.
it's sometimes it's the best you could do, bro. You gotta let people fall flat in their face, and then help them out.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Great point, because I got so excited about all the stuff that I learned in terms of the red pill movement that I was so eager to let my friends know, because I was like, wait, this is stuff that you guys are going to find useful. And
Yes.
immediately right away, I was like, they just didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to, and I came to the conclusion that, yeah, it's like they're just going to have to experience the whole thing. And one of the things that with people that grew up where I grew up, a lot of us grew up with just our moms.
Yeah.
So like you kind of have to, in order to get a lot of black men or minorities out of that way of thinking, you have to remove 20 years, 18 years of simping, beta male
Conditioning.
brainwashing.
Yep.
And it takes some of us are lucky, like me and you. We get hit with that one relationship that wakes us the hell up. But then you have men out there that will just jump right back into the whole beta wheel and just start all over again, like Coach Greg Adams with the whole marriage wheel, and then the whole process repeats all over again. Yeah. So like now, instead of me jumping into that whole cycle of being a beta, I don't want no parts of that. I'm 40 years old. I live on my own. I get off from work. I have peace on the weekends. Depending on if I meet somebody just walking on the streets or if I'm meeting a girl on a dating app, I'll set something up. We'll go out, have a drink, bring her back here, and then it's a wrap. That's my life right now. And I am stress free. I have no drama. I don't have to come home from work and hear someone complaining about what happened at work or mood swings or any of that. I just get off from work and that's it. Like and if I want to play video games, I can play video games. If I want to go to the gym, I can go to the gym and lift weights. Yeah. If I want to take a trip, I can take a trip. I'm not tied down to a woman anymore. And I would never do that again. I would never go back. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I had a conversation with my buddy, one of my friends, because I'm trying to, he's slowly starting to see what I'm talking about. But we got into an argument and he was like, dude, so you're never going to settle down again? He was like, you're going to die alone. And I said, well, we all are going to die alone.
Yeah.
No one dies together. We're all going to die in our deathbed by ourselves. Either I'm going to die first and then my wife lives, or whoever I'm dealing with, or she dies first and I die by myself. But no, you're never going to die together at the same time.
No.
So I think for me and for my peace and my well-being, I'd rather just stay single, play the field, live the free agent life, and just remain stress-free.
Yeah, I feel that. So I want to touch on a few things. The first thing will be the bitterness phase. Even bitterness towards your mom, which is not her fault. It's just she did her job in telling you about being compassionate, love, and all of those things. The lack of a father figure didn't prepare you for how cruel and how bad the world is. That's one thing. Another mistake that I made is, as I was getting back into the dating world and I had all this knowledge, I was just telling girls that I'm red pill. Like I would try to educate girls on what that is. And I'm thinking, if they know I'm red pill, they're gonna like me more. They know not to fuck around.
No.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. I did that too. Around the winter of 2018, when I finally start feeling confident about going out dating, I figured like if I share this information with women, they would be receptive and maybe maybe they'll want to see the other perspective.
Yeah.
But like all the content creators say, women ain't trying to hear that shit, man.
No.
Because it goes against the feminist narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So let me tell you this. If you look at the fitness industry, right? It's a big billion-dollar industry, right? What do they promote? What do they tell people? Get jacked 5 minutes a day. Eat whatever you want. It's been the same strategy for many years. Because the truth, what people need to hear, which is get working, work out an hour and a half a day, do your daily cardio, count your calories. That's the real truth. They don't want to hear that. It's the same thing. The real truth, they don't want to hear that.
No.
So you just tell them, do what you have to do. Now, in terms of, you know, because here's the thing, and most guys will attest to this. Yes, it is programmed in our DNA to procreate, to pass our seed as much as we can. As a man, because you love women as much as I love women, we we typically like to just be with one person. The problem
Yes.
is because we know, and especially right now with the online social media and instant gratification and whatnot,
Yeah.
it's very hard. So now this is the problem that I'm seeing. The elite, the top 5% of females out there, they approach the guys. But you have, it's almost like if you want to get the tens of tens, the approach you have to take is build it and they'll come.
Yeah.
Because Chris Hemsworth gets those tens hitting on him.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So now what are you left? Eights, maybe nines,
Sevens.
sevens, right? And those are hard. Those are the ones that are getting so much attention. It's hard
Right.
to settle with them. And the problem is those eights and nines intimidate most guys. So most guys are hitting on the fives and six, and then you have the fives and six with these inflated egos, not because they're hot, but because they're easier to approach, so they get
Right.
approached a lot more.
Right.
And it just becomes this crazy thing. But I don't want people to miss out on a good relationship just because of this. Like, if you're feeling a chick, it's perfectly fine. It's like if you find a car and you know you could die on it, but you just drive it carefully. Don't put all your eggs in it. Be mindful what you're doing. You might
Right.
have a good time, because at the end of the day, you know, fucking 10 girls one time each is probably, it's, I personally like having the 10th time I have sex with somebody.
Right.
I enjoy it a lot more than the first time.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Okay.
for me. I get more intimate. I get to know them better. They get to know me
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. But back to your point of dying alone and the whole thing, and people will tell you you don't want to be single. I'll tell you this: have never met a unhappy single 50-something-year-old. I haven't met. If I meet somebody who's in his 50s and he's single, he's not unhappy.
Right.
However, I have met many married 50 somethings who
Yes.
hate their life, who could be retired, but they go to work to stay
Right.
away from their wives.
Right. Right.
And it's like they what do you want? Oh, let me talk to I gotta talk to my wife.
Right. Right.
Oh, let's go watch the fight. Yeah, but I have to be back at 11. You know, the wife will kill me, right? Like, oh,
Right.
so
Great point. And you know what? I haven't even thought about that. That's
yeah.
straight up, because I can't think of any older guy that's like 50 plus years old that says, "Oh my God, my life is miserable." I don't think I've ever met a guy.
No.
But all of the guys at my job, where I work at, that are married,
Yeah.
they work overtime. They don't really have any great things to say about their wife at all. They don't even talk about their wife. And if anything, I see them flirting with the younger women at the job.
Yeah.
So it validates everything you just said.
Yep. No, hold on a second.
Yep.
Perfect. Sorry, Rob. I was just taking a.
No. You're fine, bro.
Kick from studio.
Yeah, it validates everything that you just said, man. You
Yeah.
know, and
It's a good point, man. But I just there's a few things. It's a give and take, okay? Because you have all this knowledge now. You're prepared. You know how to ride this machine. This call it a Maserati that you could, if you drive it the way it should be, you have a great time. If you don't, you can crash and you can die, right? I just, because here's a problem. I don't want people to miss out on a good relationship, because at this point, you could potentially have a good relationship with a girl that you're digging,
yes.
that you like. So don't let this stop you.
Right. Right.
You know, we make our decisions, and we're happy with our decision. I'm single right now. Okay. But I made that decision. I that mistake where I was in a good situation. I woke up one day and I was like, I'm starting to like this girl too much. She's like a nine. She's a bikini model. Um, I'm not liking this. I freaked out and I told her to leave, just like that. You know what I mean? And that's just part of the growing process. And I regretted that. And I'm like, did I do the right thing? Like we had it good. We were having fun. I just freaked out. And obviously she's not gonna try it. She's not gonna, woman move on really fast, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I mean, look, another thing. This is about your protection. This is about you are the main character in your movie. You are the most important person in your movie. You're the star. So keep it like that. Don't let the red pill tell you that just because she's older than you that you're not allowed to be attracted to her. Just
Right.
because she has kids that you can't go out on a date and have like a situationship or friends with benefits.
Right.
Like
Right.
don't let all of these things, because at the end of the day, have your fun, but like I said, keep yourself first.
Right.
Because
Right.
what's happening, guys are simping to the red pill content creators as well. I'll tell you this. I think you're just, I'm not meaning to insult anyone if the people have done this, but for me, to if you're paying $10 a month on OnlyFans, you're a simp.
Mm.
If you're sending super chats of $10 to some dude on the internet talking about bitches and shit, I think you're a simp too.
Yeah. That's something. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
simping too.
Yeah.
So live your life and understand that a lot of these content creators, this is, like you can see a content creator on fitness, doesn't mean he doesn't have a cheat meal here and there, doesn't mean he doesn't take a day off, but his whole channel is 100% of that because that's what they do. you
Facts.
know um Richard Cooper loves women. He might have a girlfriend that you don't know about. And Donovan Sharp is been with the same girl for a long time and he
I
loves
watched
her.
that documentary.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what it is. But now you have the power of the knowledge. You know exactly, and the main thing is chase excellence. That's the rule zero of the red pill is you chase excellence. Excellence will come. Build it and they'll come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And to kind of touch on what you were saying before, I Better Bachelor and Darius, they kind of have the same message that you said, which I think is great, which is the red pill movement is not meant for men to run away from women, right?
Mhm.
It's not meant for you to be single for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
I think what you take away from it is stand on your purpose,
Yeah.
focus on yourself, put you first in your life,
Yeah.
make you the star of your own show.
Yeah.
And who knows, if another woman comes along that you feel like, hey, this is somebody that I can kind of build with. She's willing to follow my lead. She's very feminine. She's very submissive. She doesn't give off any masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Then yes, that's someone you want to keep in your pocket because that's someone that is following your lead, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of the red pill movement, right? It's not to say, what is it called, monk mode or whatever it is.
Oh,
right?
MGTOW?
Well, there's black pill, then there's monk mode, and there's all these other like pill movements where
men going their own way.
Yeah, men going their own way. Me personally, I just took the red pill movement and I took certain parts of it, and I ran with certain things that I think works for me, right?
As you should, yeah. 100%. So there's, the beautiful thing about having an abundance of information is you could, pick and choose and do and put what fits into your life better.
Right.
I think when I first started getting into podcast, I started using it for me to get better at, as a newcomer in Canada, I wanted to figure out the system. How do people think here? How do they make money? How do these Italian immigrants that came here before back in the day, how do they get to have all these big houses and stuff? Right. So I started listening to podcasts on money. So the first time I heard a podcast on money was all about saving and being debt free. Dave Ramsey. It's all I heard. Great, no problem. Same thing like the red pill. All I heard was that. Now Dave Ramsey only showed me how to make the best of the money I make, but he didn't show me how to make money.
Right.
That was other podcast. Same
Right.
thing with the red pill. Now the red pill is gonna help me stay on my purpose and everything. But I've noticed it doesn't help me with game. It doesn't help me pick up girls.
Right.
I've been able to cherry pick some of the stuff from the PUA community. I've had playing with fire in here. I've had, and that's part of the controversy that's happening now, because a lot of these guys, that are talking the red pill, they're talking about how they have all these nines and tens, and you and I both know that they're all getting exposed now, which is sad because a lot of their information is very very on point. But the problem is they make these lies about dating eights and nines, and that's where, unfortunately, that casts a huge shadow on all the other valuable information.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And I know exactly what you mean. One of the things that happens when you are in the gluttony phase of the red pill movement is that not only do you deeply immerse yourself into multiple content creators, but they almost become kind of like they almost become therapists, right? Because your brain kind of gets addicted to. It's almost like an addiction, right? Because
Yep.
your brain gets this high, this serotonin when you ever see that. Whenever you get that notification that this content creator is releasing a new video, what's the first thing you do? You run and grab your phone. You hit for the next video. And I think what happens is that it kind of creates this this false sense of and I can't really think of the word right now, but it pedestalizes. That's where I was looking for. It pedestalizes these content creators, right? Where they can do no wrong, they have no flaws, they make no mistakes. And then what happens is, and this is bringing the conversation full circle with Derek Jackson, is that you kind of create this false persona.
Yeah.
And then what happens is it's all it takes is one girl, right? All it takes is nowadays, if you get exposed, all it takes is one video and your whole house of cards is done.
Done.
And that's what happened with Derek Jackson. That's what happened with Donovan Sharp. I don't know too much about the other guys, but that's what happens. And you kind of have to, like you said, some of the content creators embellish the truth. They said, hey, I date nines and tens and I do this and I do that. And when the reality comes out, there were one woman for the past 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you kind of lose your credibility.
Yeah. And a woman that's like super far from being a nine.
Right.
It's very easy.
Bro, not to toot my horn, man. I got receipts. I can show you a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, bro, 100%. I mean, I don't have to show you. Go on my who likes my pictures, who comments on my stuff,
right?
And you see for yourself who follows me and whatnot, right? But I'm not here trying to tell people, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not trying to act like I'm some tough guy who had a 9 in my car and then she told me she didn't like. It's like I was hearing this guy, what's it called? Richard Cooper, who I think he's a extremely valuable, knowledgeable guy, right?
Right.
And I think that's a guy who put in the work. I don't think he was a natural in what he does. With all the respect, because he's done so much through his content in my life that I can't I can hate on the guy. I have a lot of respect for him, but I have a hard time believing that he had a solid 8 or solid 9 in his car, 20-something-year-old, that she made a bad comment, that he would stop in the middle of the freeway or the highway and tell her to get the fuck out. Like, I feel like those kinds of comments like that, it's made up stories in their head. It's like, yeah, I went there and I told the guy to fuck off and this, and like, bro, that that's not what happened.
Yeah.
I personally, I've been really rude to people, like with girls. I will tell you, I have no problem putting my foot down.
Oh,
Would I say, oh, this girl told me the wrong thing, and I smashed my brake, told her to get the fuck out, and I show her who was the man. Bro, I'm not here to pretend I'm some tough guy.
Yeah.
And I doubt those guys. At first, I doubt that she was a solid 9, and I doubt that that's the kind of stuff they do. But like, I don't understand why they would lie about that.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side of the spectrum, which is the other guy, Derek, who's like super nice blue pill king, and he's the one slaying the 9s.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a microcosm of like real life, right?
Yeah,
Because that's what girls and cookies do.
exactly.
They give off the impression that they're Mr. Nice Guy, but they're plowing your girlfriend's back out over the couch.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that. So it's just like, it's just like we saw it. I mean, I saw right through the charade. I saw right through it. But again, with women, and this is why women don't make good selections, because they base their decisions on emotions rather than logical, practical thinking. So that's why he was able to monetize and grow his follower base. Because he saw opportunity and he capitalized on it. Smart dude. You cannot hate on Derek. But again, like I just said, nowadays with technology, all it takes is one little exposure and your whole thing is done. Whatever, now Derek, he has to worry about his sponsors, his image, everything, even his relationship with his wife.
Yeah, but bro, there are girls not hitting him up. This guy can't make it. Without a doubt. There are, bro. His guy's swimming in pussy right now.
His DM is on fire right now.
Yeah, bro. Look at what happened with the guy who the light skinned dude that went to jail for like kidnapping or something. He was like the model. Like his mugshot got super viral. Yeah. You know what I mean?
His name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, bro. Like I'm not. It's so funny how these things work, bro.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say this about Derek is that this is one of those situations where we're going to get a perfect example and see how this plays out, because if women are very superficial like we think they are, once that money starts pouring in, you're going to know which way Derek's going to fall at.
Yeah.
Because once those sponsors go on, no checks start coming in, is Derek still Tyrone and Pookie?
I'm going to tell you.
Still an alpha male?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you something, because this is going to be a reflection of our society and the double standards that we have. Sorry, bro. Carlo, you're a little bit late to the party, but listen to this little nugget. This is Cameron, by the way.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. So here's what I wanted to tell you about what's happening with society right now and the double standards. When Will Smith and the whole situation came out with Entanglement, she was praised. She was, it's strong. We had a situation. It was an entanglement. She was so brave for coming through and accepting all that. She got all the support, right? And her affair was a lot more emotional. Like, I think when you look at the way men cheat and the way women cheat, the worst thing a man does, he puts his dick somewhere else. Once you get the post-nut clarity, you're like, what the fuck did I do? I'm never gonna do that again. A guy could cheat, and not to justify cheating, but a guy could have an affair with a female and she could get hit by a truck. The guy doesn't care.
Right.
When a woman does that, it's a little bit different. She's looking to jump. And the thing is, the worst thing a man does is they put their dick somewhere else. A woman, they go for the jugular. They go for the custody of the kids. They go for your assets. They go for garnishing your income. They go for it's probably 90% of girls that do that, 10% of guys that do that. Like, it is, and you could attest to that, right?
Yeah. I mean, so the way I kind of look at it is, and this is the whole thing with the whole double standard is, and your point was great. The mating strategy with a woman is completely different from the mating strategy of a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when a man wants to have sex, his whole mating strategy is to go out, spread a seed, and procreate, right?
Yeah.
With a woman, her whole mating strategy is to tie down that one particular man in order to have sex with. So the double standard with society right now is really off kilter, because what the whole feminism narrative is that women can go out and have multiple sex partners and have sex with whoever they can without any repercussions or any consequences. But you and I and everybody else all know that that's completely untrue, because what happens is that those looks fade off and that woman turns, what, 40 or even 35 now? She's been running the whole cock carousel up until that age, and now she's just a single, bitter old woman who lives with a cat and a dog. Whereas though with men, when we turn 30 and 40 years old, we can just go out and do whatever we want and still continue to go procreate and have sex and do what we need to do. So the whole comparison of both men and women and the mating strategies is just so wrong. The double standard is just so off.
Sorry, guys. I drank a lot of waters. Yeah, man. I don't know. We've been going at this for. Listen, bro, that was a lot of knowledge, man, and I like your story. I think we have a lot of parallels in our story, and we don't do this to. Listen, man, we love women. This is why we do this. We just want to be a better man for them, because how we've been better man, they wouldn't left us. Like the first one, right? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we do this to make better men for better women at the end of the day, right? This isn't a woman. The red pill is not to hate women. The problem is, you capital. It's just like anything. You start one thing, something clicks, something hits, and you zero in on it, and then there's the rage. And if you're having a business where you're talking about the red pill, well, what makes the most money, what gets the most hits it's preying on that rage, because that's where people going to spend the more money. That's when they're going to send you the $10 super chats and things like that, right?
Right.
So step back a little bit, worry on yourself, like work on yourself, ask questions. There's guys like Cameron all over the world. Bro, I see you right now and you're in your prime. Like, you have it together. You're still strong. You have your looks.
Thanks, bro.
You're like the top. You could choose now. You're like a full like Lion King, bro.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. And you too, man. I look at your page and I look at your channel, and you're doing great things, man. Seriously. And I really appreciate you having me on and sharing my story. And I hope whoever sees this video, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, like, look at me as someone coming from the future to share some knowledge with you. And if you're like an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old or even a 20-year-old that's watching this, you would have taken something away from this. And that's what my hope was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're doing this out of a good place in your heart, because listen, we start doing these things because we want to spread the message. You have a good career with the government. You're set. You don't need to do this. You do this because you're talking to yourself from 15 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
right. Exactly.
You're helping people. That's the best thing you could do. I think most guys, they put so much time into getting to where they want to be financially, and then they start doing these podcasts and they start spreading the good message. Because one of the best things you could do with money and success is to share the knowledge and share the wealth. Right. So, and that's sort of like what we're doing here. So
yeah, and I think the more this message comes out, and the more so mainstream media doesn't like the red pill movement, right?
No,
They try to spin it as misogyny and whatever like that, and it's not. If you really pay attention to the message of the red pill, it has nothing to do with misogyny. It has to do with men putting themselves first and getting themselves, finding their purpose and getting themselves financially stable so they can be independent. And like you said earlier, who knows? You might find a woman that you might want to spend the rest of your life with, but now you're in a better position not to make the same mistake that you made before in the other relationship that pushed you into the whole red pill movement, right? And that's what the whole message is about. So my goal is hopefully to share this story and to get all the viewers out there or whoever hears this or listen to this and say, hey, listen, red pill is a positive movement. It's not negative. It's not everything that you think the mainstream media wants you to think it is. It's simply men trying to better themselves, and that's it. And to me, that's a positive. And I don't understand why that is such a hard, difficult thing for people to understand. It's almost as if like they don't want us. It's almost like the narratives. They don't want men to know this information. They want people to know this information because then it will take away from the whole feminist movement. And to me, I just don't understand that. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I think we all traditional feminists. I don't think any one of you guys will want women to not vote or not to drive. I think we're okay with that.
Of course.
The problem that we have is that modern day feminism has become about hating men,
right?
To the point where if you do anything,
it's not even about hating. I think they just want to overpower men.
Right, right.
It's just like the so you know how you mentioned about guys, they'll go out, whatever, they'll cheat, they'll stick their dick in something else, and that's it. That's that.
Yeah.
Where girls will actually, I don't know, I can say like fall in love once again with this other partner that they're having sex with, and after the guy comes to find out that, it's gonna break the guy, and basically he's gonna become soft, right? So he's not gonna be that alpha male anymore. And I think a lot of women don't want us to know this information so that when that happens, we can recover from that situation.
Right.
Become soft.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like they want, and I don't know if you guys watch Coach Greg's video, right?
All the time.
Will. It's almost like they want men to keep jumping back into the will as opposed to jumping out of the will, right?
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Men are pretty slick. We're catching on.
We're catching on, man. We are
catching
on. And this conversation proves that, man. Here I am living in Philadelphia, and I'm talking to two guys from across the world, and we all have the same ideas, and we bring these ideas together, and we're learning from each other.
Exactly, bro. But I'll tell you this. Fitness workouts, diets, all that stuff has been around forever. There's still fat people. This stuff is going to be there. It's going to be super easy to take, to consume. It's going to be available everywhere. You're still going to have a million of guys in OnlyFans or boosting girls for likes and Instagram. And that's just the way, but that just gives us an advantage.
Un podcast.
¿Ah?
Un podcast.
Allora, mi sembra a me. Oh, yeah. E ci parla un nero.
This guy. All right, guys. Any final thoughts?
Again, like I was saying before,
I'm out at the restaurant, so the waiter came by.
Oh. All right, let's give the mic to Cameron. He's the guest of today.
Like I was saying earlier, man, thanks for having me on. Anytime you guys need me to come back on and have a discussion about this, I'd be more than happy to. And to anyone out there that sees this, just again, as an older person, I just wanted to just let you guys know, stay on your focus. Find out what you want to do in life, whether it be going to college or taking up a trade or joining the military.
Yeah.
Stay on your focus. Stay on your purpose. All the other stuff will come afterward.
bro. And like I said, man, I look at you. You say you're 40 years old. Just tell the youth, like, how much better does it get, bro?
Oh, it gets better, man. It actually gets better. Because everything that the red pill philosophy says is true. Like as we get older, the younger women want to date guys that are in my age range because we're pretty much subtle and we have more than say like a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old. So when I'm on the dating apps, I'm actually matching with younger women that and so it's that, and then there's also older women that are like in their mid-20s, early 30s that are in this whole feminist movement, the sex positive movement. So like I'm in this space right now where I get to choose whatever
Where
I
you're
want.
swimming in pussy.
Right, literally, it's almost like Uber pussy. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the one girl I sent you the picture of, the one with the black on, she was actually
She was
coming
hot. She was
home
hot.
from a kink party.
Mm.
So she texts me and she's like, "Hey, I'm horny. I want to have sex. Are you available?" And sure, you know.
Yeah.
And then I had another girl, the one I just sent you, the blonde hair chick. Like it's just you have options, and it gets better. It actually gets better. And the other thing is too, we don't age as bad as women do. So as we get older, we actually still maintain our looks, and we can still date the younger women. Whereas with the older women that turn 35 and older, they actually they're not going to be able to get to 20-year-old guys.
Here, I agree and I disagree a little bit. I'll tell you. And I love you, brother. But listen, I'm 31. Okay, so at 31, you're in a sweet spot because the 40-year-old that are hot, that hit the genetic lottery, they're down to be with you. They're down to kick it with you.
Right.
And the 21s, 22s also, they see you as like, oh my god, like this guy is like young, hot, but like still got his shit together. The thing of this, it's not that I disagree with you. It's like men do age well, but the men that take care of themselves. Because what I'm noticing now is that I'm getting a lot of 34, 35, 36-year olds that come to me because they're like, guys my age, they're fat, they don't care, they're not grooming properly.
Okay, but those are the guys that just gave up on life, Chris.
But that's like 90% of the guys, bro.
No.
That's the majority. I would say that's at least that's the majority. That's over 50% of the guys.
You know, it's like Cameron said. You know, stay on your focus, stay on your path, and then if somebody adds stuff to your life, they add stuff to your life. A lot of the people that did that, that's what the guys he's talking about.
Bro, but Carlo was just banging that MILF yesterday. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
But see, that's one guy. But that's one guy she's with that he gave up. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I know. But I'm telling you, we do age well, but just by working out, taking care. Like, look at us, bro. We all have our grooming on point. We all in shape. We're all, you know what I mean? Like,
but it's because you have your shit together. Like, if you were out there chasing after girl after girl after girl, you probably wouldn't take care of yourself as much because your focus would be on something else rather than yourself.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing I noticed with Cameron. I don't like you probably put more effort into yourself, and they come. It's like it's so weird.
Of course, and that's a big thing that the viewers should get from this too. Is that if you focus on yourself and work on yourself, dump all the time in yourself, and you stay on your path, like Cameron said, and all that stuff. If somebody comes into your life, they either come because they gotta add value to your life.
Yes.
Or you just kick them out of your life. You don't need them. You don't need to.
He articulated it perfectly. I couldn't say it even better. And also too, can I just add this one last thing? So like, the data shows that men reach our earning potential around 35 and up. Right. Those are the years when we make the most of our money. So like to kind of piggyback on what you were saying about the women who are 30 and 34 years old that are attracted to you, they're not going after those 20-year-old guys. because they don't have their careers together. So they're going after you and EP and me because they're looking for that safe space. They're looking for that security. They're looking for, you know, that guy who's going to be able to be the provider, right? Yes. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, you know, we're at that point. Well, I know I am, and I know you guys will be too as you get older. But like as you reach 35 and up, you reach that part of your life where you make the most. You're reaching that income potential.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait, man. To end it on this note, when I was 22, I used to be like, why do girls 22 are going for these guys in their 30s? Right. Until I became a guy in his 30s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's awesome. Hey, man, listen, I had a lot of fun here, brother. This is great. I like to do this with you. Your story is, it's like, it's side by side from mine. Like the timeline, the dates, like I was freaking. I was like, what? Because there's so many parallels, which goes to show you. And we're like 10, 15 hours away. Like I'm in Ottawa, Carlos in Toronto. You're in Pennsylvania, you said?
Yeah, Philly? Philadelphia.
Philly. So you're in Philly. That's like we're so far, and yet our experiences are
all the same. Because and I'll say this real quick. We're in a whole new era of dating where technology, like for our social media and dating apps, has changed the game. And it's all in favor of women, and they relationships just don't matter anymore.
No. And that's it, bro. On that note, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. This has been Bad Hombres TV. This is Cameron, and obviously Carlo. You're gonna see him more often, but he's got like 10 baby mamas. Cameron,
I wish I could have came sooner, man. I really wish I could have came through the whole podcast.
That's okay, bro. That's for the next one. For the next one, we're gonna do a lot more. You guys are gonna see Cameron a lot more. This, you know, the experience. You can see it. You can see the humbleness. This guy's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. We're not asking for super chats. He doesn't have a website with the program that he's selling. It's just. You know, I know if you start spreading the good message, it'll come back to you. You know what I mean? Like you have a friend in Ottawa now, and it's all became because of advice that empowerment that we did each other. Right. Bro, you have a place you can crash in Ottawa, bro. Look at this.
Bro. I gotta come up there and check y'all out. I've always been wanting to come to Toronto because of Drake, so now I have a reason to come up there.
You have, bro. You have.
I would want to do a private video call with us three. Go through some stuff.
I'm down, man. Just let me know, guys.
We'll do that, bro. Okay, guys. I gotta hit the gym now. Peace.
Peace.
So dark, can't see a thing. I hear a song of the broken beat. Give me nickel, give me dime, give me dollar, I'll give you a smile. So dark, can't see a thing on the corner of the street.